Welcome to today's On the Spot show. My name is Jorge Duarte, and today our topic focuses on disability talk. Many people around the world today have many misconceptions on those of us who may have a disability. Whether it may be physical or a mental condition, the assumptions need to come to an end. As for myself, being born with a physical disability known as cerebral palsy, or CP, has been a challenge for me at times. Yet, I refuse to let it control me or stop me from living like any other person in the world. CP has different levels of severity. I was lucky enough to have it only affect me walking without canes or a walker. Anyhow, enough about me. Today we are here with Jonathan Michiano, and he will discuss his disability known as Tourette's syndrome with us. Hello, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right, thanks. And thank you for joining me today. Without further ado, Jonathan, what is Tourette's syndrome, and how have you learned to cope with it?
Tourette's is it's a neurological disorder that causes something in, I don't know, my brain or something just to make me exhibit different motor tics and vocal tics. Just I don't know how many people are like very familiar with stuff like that, but that's what it is.
How have you learned to cope with it throughout your life so far?
It's been pretty tough. I went to when I was diagnosed, I started taking like a couple different medications. There's no cure for Tourette's syndrome, unfortunately, so it's really just stuff that helps you suppress your tics. And also, like I discovered, it doesn't really work for like everyone. And I just remember taking like medication after medication. I had to stop because the last one I was supposed to take, the side effects were something crazy. It was tremors and hallucinations, just to try and get my tics under control. And I just had to decide, like, I don't think it's worth having to go through all these like crazy oh God, these crazy side effects, you know. So I guess I just kind of learned, like, I'm gonna have this for the rest of my life.
Right.
I might as well accept it and be okay with it. You know?
That's very wise of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Has your education been a struggle with your disability?
Oh, absolutely. Especially growing up. I actually didn't know what I had growing up, especially as a kid. So I remember taking tests like as a kid, and my classmates would like get annoyed with like hearing me or just watching me like do like different movements like randomly, and also I guess the mental part of Tourette's syndrome is that our minds are always just like constantly like racing around. So it's super hard for me to focus on, because a lot of people with Tourette's have like a mixture of stuff like ADHD, ADD, OCD, stuff like that. So I like, even like my doctors couldn't really pinpoint what it is in me. So for all we know, it could just be a mixture of all of those. So it's incredibly hard for me to sit still, to just focus. Like I remember, I don't think I've ever like successfully studied for more than like 30 minutes, 45 minutes on anything, because I just like, I'll try and read like a study guide or something. Yeah. And I'm just like, I can't like think about this.
At least something's better than nothing, right?
That's true. Yeah. I definitely tried. It's just super difficult, you know, just trying to get through school, especially through all these years. I feel like as I've gotten older, it's gotten better. But there's still so many times when it's just, I don't know, it is difficult, education-wise. But, you know, like I said, like trying to learn to cope with it, definitely made it easier.
Yeah, for me personally, I've kind of told myself the same thing, I guess, just learn to cope with it throughout the years. Because when I was younger, it was even more of a challenge. You know, I had to deal with people, like, making fun of me. Like, kind of in your case, but, like, what you call it, like, there was a moment, like, where I thought I should be held back because I've always struggled with math. So that's always been, like, one of my weaknesses. But in regards to your education, though, have you ever, like, taken advantage of the disabled center?
You know what? I haven't. Actually, I wasn't officially diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome till I was, I think, 19 years old.
Oh, okay.
Because growing up, I don't know how many people have seen, there's a YouTube video of this guy who had Tourette's. He was just yelling out like profanity like constantly. So
Wow.
people thought that's what Tourette's was,
Yeah.
and so growing up, I had no idea like what was wrong with me.
Damn.
So I never knew if I should have like, oh, should I get help or something. Like all I had to do was just take it. You know,
Right.
I took people telling me to just stop. Like my own family was telling me to shut up, like all the time. It was wild.
That's
You
rough,
know,
man.
it is rough. Like you know, to this day, no one's ever apologized for
Wow.
telling me.
Jeez.
You know, I forgive you, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna forget. You know,
You still think about it in the back of your head from time to time?
I do. It sucks. You know,
Yeah.
I just think about all the time. You know, like I know, I'm sure you know how, uh, even growing up, like kids can be cruel to you.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know, just your peers.
Yeah.
Telling me like people tell me like I look hella weird. People tell me that like I should stop trying to get like attention. Like a lot of
Dude.
people think I do this for attention,
Wow.
but like who does like stupid stuff like this for attention? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like noises.
Yeah,
Like
like
what? Huh?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say like, oh, like let me just make a bunch of random noises to get attention. Like,
No,
like
exactly.
who does that? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I'm 22 years old. You think I'm gonna be doing this at 22? No. Like
Yeah.
I felt like I mean I do feel more at peace with it, I
Mm.
guess. But it is I do feel kind of ridiculous sometimes knowing
Mm.
that I do stuff like that. And like I have gotten better at it. I don't know, hiding it when like I'm around people, especially when I'm like in class. But
Mhm.
like if it's just me or if I'm just around people that I'm
Mhm.
comfortable with, like they'll see like stuff that I do.
It comes out. Yeah. Like, you ever do like an interview for a job?
Yes, I'm actually very glad.
Yeah.
Like I don't know like what your experiences with jobs is.
Honestly, I've only had one job throughout my life,
Mm.
but like I got lucky because I got, I guess, referenced for it.
Mm.
Um,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, my mom's boyfriend, he worked for this gym, and he, I guess, mentioned me that I could work there and stuff. So
That's
I was
good.
like one of those sign waivers
Ah,
type of
okay.
dudes. So yeah, I mean, I did like couple hour shifts each day,
Mm.
and the money piled up, so it was pretty good.
That's good.
But
man.
I don't know. I guess with like the outside world and like jobs and stuff, it's always been a fear of mine because people always look at the outside instead
Yeah,
of the inside. Like they see me
absolutely.
coming, they're like, "Oh, look at his chair," like.
Mm.
So I don't know, but anyhow, like, do people like do they look at you or treat you like a certain way or like different than like a normal person would or something? Not to say that you're not normal or anything, but you know what I mean, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's funny like going back to like with jobs. I've like been in job interviews
Mm.
and like when they notice my tics and they'll ask me about it, I'll be like, "Oh, I have Tourette syndrome."
Mm.
And like I always feel like the vibe just shift.
Yeah.
Like they're like, "Oh, like and I could tell the thing like if we hired this
Mm.
guy, like would he be like an annoyance or something?" I know like they don't say that out loud, but you
Yeah.
can tell like something like clicks in their head like,
Oh.
"Oh."
So it's like a down inflection almost.
Yeah.
In the tone, kind of.
Yeah, but I mean, I've gotten that my whole life. Like I said,
Mm.
even like thankfully now, since I've been diagnosed this past couple years, like I
Mhm.
can explain to people like I have Tourette syndrome.
Yeah.
This is why I do stuff like this,
Mm.
and people are pretty understanding about it. But I still like, especially like if I'm out in public,
Yeah.
and I'm like having a hard time like trying to suppress it.
Yeah.
People stare, people look at you funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get the same thing, but like not to compare anything, but like
No,
I
totally.
don't know, like for me, I've always gotten questions like, "Oh, can you like have sex or like how do you go to the bathroom or like how do you shower?" And I'm just like, dude, I sit in a chair all day. Like, why does it matter to you how I do my personal things? Like
Yeah.
that's none of your business.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
people ask me how I go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
That's come up. I'm like,
it's ridiculous.
like I've had this my whole life. It's not like I walk in a public restroom like everybody get out. I have Tourette's. It's about to get messy.
Yeah.
No, like that's never happened to me.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
that's crazy. But
It's-
how do you think we can stop people assuming and judging those of us with disabilities?
I think just bring more awareness to it.
Mm.
Like in my personal experience, I realized how many people don't actually know enough about Tourette's. I didn't know enough about Tourette's growing up.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like I was like diagnosed that I was like, what is Tourette's? You know,
Yeah.
and I had this since I was born, essentially.
Mm.
So even for someone who had it and like
Mm.
experienced it, I still had no idea what it was. Um, so I always do my best to spread awareness, to like tell people what it is. Every opportunity I get. A lot of stuff on my social media is like Tourette's based.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't care if it gets annoying or if like if it seems repetitive, because like
Mm.
the way I think of it, I had to go my whole life with this disorder, not knowing what it was, and just taking people insulting me to my face, people looking at me weird.
Mm.
So I think I really don't want other people with Tourette's to experience stuff like that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, I'm lucky that um, that I made it through it, and like you know, it doesn't like affect me emotionally or anything anymore. But I know that there's bound to be kids out there who have Tourette's syndrome
Yeah.
and won't have the same reaction I did. Like, they might take it a lot worse.
Mm.
And I definitely don't want that to happen. So, and even like with any other disability, I
Right.
think people should definitely be more mindful, more understanding.
Most definitely. You know, I think that's like the key to avoid like judgment and assumptions. Is
Yeah,
more awareness. You know,
absolutely.
more awareness could potentially avoid ignorance too. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
But within time, do you think the disabled community will have more acceptance in the eyes of people that are not disabled?
I think so, because um, I definitely like there's gonna be people like me,
Mm.
me and you, who, or you and I, sorry, who
You're
are.
good.
I was an English major. You can see why I'm not anymore. But
No, you're good.
definitely, I think um, with people like you and I,
Mm.
and just other people out there, you know, you see it in like movies and TV shows. There's more people represented with disabilities.
Oh, definitely.
Like for me personally, it was, I don't know if how many of you guys watch America's Got Talent. I didn't watch it for years until there's a
Mm.
comedian
Mm.
um, who has Tourette's. And I don't know how many people noticed, but like in his acts, he would like mention different stuff about Tourette's.
Mm.
Like he'd give like facts or stuff like in his routine. So like that was one way that, and he really inspired me to be like, whatever you do, like you can definitely like bring awareness to it, even if you don't have a disability. We always appreciate support. We
Right.
always appreciate people having our backs. But I do feel like we still have a long way to go.
Definitely.
Just seeing like the
Yeah.
reactions I get to this day,
Mm.
you know, and I'm sure you can definitely relate.
For sure. Let's see. Now we'll take a look at an interview done with another Chabot student and see how he copes with his disability around campus. Today we're here with John Suavas, a Disabled Student Resource Center student, and he explains to us how he takes advantage of the center even with his disability, and how it provides an advantage to every student with a disability, whether it may be extreme or very minor.
I've been here at Chabot since 2008. When I first came here, I was a computer science major. Ever since then, I have since switched to business administration with focus in accounting. I will be transferring in less than a year. So, thank you.
How has your college education been in regards to your disability?
It's been, up and down. There's some good. There's some things that are not ideal. But coming from, a place where I grew up in, where there's zero resources for disabled students, so here in the U.S., where just all resources available for me, it's been tremendous in helping me, be able to do better in my classes, understand the material better, and basically help me become a better student.
What is your disability, and how has the DSRC helped you out with your classes?
Well, I'm someone with a low vision, legally blind. I wish I can explain the length of which I see in this video, but the point I'm trying to make here is that the Disabled Student Resource Center has helped me with when I need, whether that be academic testing, alternative testing, I should say, academic counseling, technology. assistive technology, large print, extra time, stuff like that. And I wouldn't be able to, be as successful in my stay here at Chabot without the disabled student training. And I'm starting to do that for other students.
The Disabled Student Resource Center is a great resource for students as it helps with a variety of disabilities. For more information, please contact the Disabled Student Resource Center at 510-723-6725. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for your input on disability talk today. I appreciate your feedback and comfortability on speaking on behalf of your disability. I know it may not have been the easiest discussion for you. The key for everyone to remember is that we are all human and deserve equality, regardless of our disability. Thank you for tuning into our On the Spot segment today. Thanks to all the students and staff in the Mass Communication Department here at Chabot College who have helped make this production possible. You can watch us anytime on youtube.com/ChabotTV and stay tuned on KCTH channel 27 for more Chabot TV.